days here. My course starts today, so I'll be meeting the remainder of the crew at about 4 o'clock this afternoon. I've just seen my boat for the first time. I'm a little bit nervous. I'll show you into my little cabin space here. This is great. It feels like camping. Oh, look at this. Looks like there's jackets set up for us in case it gets wet. The boats that we're learning on are Bavaria 37 cruisers. Clive and Alex, who run the place, mentioned that it takes about 3 weeks for a boat of this size to cross the Atlantic. I've come to the Canary Islands as a first step, with a loose but large goal in mind, to one day explore some of the world by sailboat. Beyond a dinghy sailing course back home, this is my first experience with all things sailing. In Spain's Canary Islands, a launching place for Atlantic crossings seemed like an ideal spot to jump in and get started. Hit the subscribe button for lots of upcoming adventures, and stick around to the end to hear some key takeaways from my time in the Canaries. Our crew on the Sodovent Dreams is made up of Chris and Simon from the UK, working on their daily skipper, and Eva from Poland and I getting started on our competent crew. We are ably guided by Em, our instructor, who has the job of whipping us into shape over the next 5 days. And after a morning getting acquainted with the boat, we were off for our maiden sail. We each rotated around different positions, taking turns on the helm, working as a team to tack the sails through various points of sail. All in all, a good day's learning the ropes, and there was plenty of that to come.
Do you miss me at all?
No, not yet.
Do you think about the things we used to do? No, you couldn't stand tall. So why didn't you call? So many years has gone by, but I think about you all the time. Looks like you're changing and all. But why didn't you call? Something in the air, always something in the air. Inexplicable, I can feel it in the air. Can you feel me? Can you feel me?
Let's just pop down below. I'm just going to give you a little bit of homework.
Oh, great.
Just do that way, boy. And get me to this one where there's another hole in the chart.
Our home port is Coralejo, on the island of Fuerteventura. The name is a compound of the Spanish words strong and fortune, which boded positively for a trip of this nature. Some even speculate the name refers to the strong winds that nowadays attract sailors, kite surfers and windsurfers. Had an amazing first day of the course. Our instructor Emma's fantastic. She's funny, she's very knowledgeable, she's very patient with all of us. In isolation, a lot of things that we're doing aren't particularly hard, but when you string them all together, it's like spinning plates. So she does an amazing job. Oh, this car's gonna hit me. So yesterday we spent quite a bit of time on the boat, just getting to know the boat, getting to know some of the terminology. And we went for an afternoon sail where we each had a job to perform. And even though there wasn't a massive amount of wind around, just to actually be sailing out here was a really good feeling. Garbage man. So we're about to start day 2. I've got my little company man shirt on today. I ordered my shirt a little bit small. So Simon and Chris have plotted a course for today, and we're going to be heading over to Lanzarote.
Located much closer to the African continent, these islands were colonised by the Spanish in the early 15th century.
2 degrees east.
It was at the dawn of the Age of Exploration, and these waters were to witness events that drastically impacted the world as we know it, as the Spanish and Portuguese explorers ventured further south and eventually west to the Americas. Our morning was slow, so when a bit of breeze came in, it was all hands on deck and time to put a few of the fundamentals together.
When we're coming to win.
Oh baby, I love your madness. It's so incredibly beautiful.
So east.
You shine like gold, so selfless to all, and wild like an animal. Some would say I'm insane and they're riding away, but I just love to play and you're fun and your games. Always hungry for more, that's just how I was born. Take me somewhere I don't know and give me your freedom. You love me to pieces, yeah, I need it. Want your pandemonium, life is so easy. Whoa, you love me to pieces, yeah, I need it. Want your pandemonium.
Good mate, just bringing us home, just for the south-southwester. Currently 45 knots. Just rounding the Cape Good Hope.
The limit of love is endless. I know. Just do what you want with me. Yeah, I want it all. Could care less the cost. I give you my everything. Some would say I'm insane and they're riding away, but I just love to play and you're fun and your games. Always hungry for more, that's just how I was born. Take me somewhere I don't know and give me your freedom. Whoa, you love me to pieces, yeah, I need it. Want your pandemonium, life is so easy. Whoa, you love me to pieces, yeah, I need it. Want your pandemonium.
I'm going to do a quick test. Yeah. Close reach, close haul, beam reach. What's the next one?
Stone the crows.
We are in the port of Rubicon on day 3 of our sailing course today. It was really low winds yesterday morning, but yesterday afternoon it got up and about and it was really exciting. It was a great afternoon. Today it's quite windy this morning, so hopefully we'll get out and about and be able to get some more sailing under our belt.
Up until this point, we were going pretty well, but the dark skies should have been an ominous indicator of how our day was to play out. We had a reality check first thing, as we were instructed to get the sails out. A basic process, but without step-by-step direction, we fumbled and stumbled our way through it. And then we were introduced to Oscar, a buoy come man overboard tool, who found his way into the drink at regular and inopportune moments throughout the day. We were a bit out of our depth, and it showed we still had a long way to go.
Kept it right on the verge there. Very nice, yeah.
Living on the edge.
Living on the edge. It's, have you seen at the bottom of the sail? It's quite baggy. Okay, so So that needs to go over.
That was a tough day though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Good day though.
Good sailing. Blue skies.
Man overboard. We lost Oscar.
I know you don't like those photos, but just little.
So I would say we're about halfway through the course. I think I'm really lucky because I'm heading on next week to do the day skipper course. So I'll have some repetition, I'll have some consolidation of a lot of these skills and ideas, which I really need. So not coming from a water-based background or a boating background, a lot of this is new information. So to clarify, I was following up my competent crew course with the day skipper. There is a theoretical requirement to pass your day skipper. So to bring myself up to speed, and instead of doing it online, which is an option, I did a few days with the company Sail the Canaries based in Coraleco. Just down near the Coraleco harbour and finished my first day of study today. Really interesting. It was a little bit harder than I think I anticipated. It was very much about navigation and tide times and lots of calculations, lots of charting. Required to use my brain in a very different way after the guiding season. It all feels a little bit overwhelming at this stage with currents and tides and winds and sheets and rigs and ropes and knots. Getting ahead of myself here a little bit. I'm picturing being on a little sailboat and trolling for mahi-mahi. Just finished up in the classroom. There's a lot to learn and there's a lot that's really confusing and there's a lot of deviations between times with navigation and meteorology, plotting, charting, and it's not something that comes naturally to me. So that's something I'll definitely work on a little bit. This is Eva just making sure our boat doesn't float away.
I'll let you know in a second.
At this time of year in the Canary Islands, a lot of the marinas are stacked. They have a flotilla or a convoy of boats head across from Europe to the Caribbean. Tonight we're off to the pub for a nice meal and we'll get busy again tomorrow. We slept on the boat throughout the course, staying in and exploring these modern and well-appointed ports, full of bars and restaurants, a good chance for a feed and a drink at day's end. I was like, what's in the way of the camera? And it was my head. Just sort of shadow. Today turned out to be a cracking day, despite little wind. We worked on moorings, anchoring, berthings, and handling the vessel during slow manoeuvres whilst in port.
Anyway, don't worry, you're safe.
We're in safe hands. We were in for a night sail. Chris and Simon were tasked with navigating from port to port once the sun had set, further complicated by a scenario that had them avoiding some shallow rocks. This gave Eva and I some time at the helm and some experience in triangulating our position using lights and landmarks and a handheld compass. The gents got us in safely. It was a great job. A satisfying day and night. Our final day as a crew, and having ticked the required competencies off the list, we took off on a bit of a leisure sail, putting together everything we had learned.
I wanna bury the hatchet and find the way back to our home, our home, our home. We don't have to drift inside this dome. I will not let us fade away. It's not a price I wanna pay, and it's not too late. No, we lost our purpose, chasing all that surplus. You were all that I need. I feel that we can break free. We can still go back there to a place with no cares. We can turn this ship around. We can turn this ship around all the way back home. Chasing all that we
Yeah.
Admiral Guts.
There, I can't see.
Like, no, we're just gonna
Yeah, we're recording.
Tag it around.
Patrick, there we are.
Yeah, we'll be out there. Happy with that.
Your mom. Well done. Yeah, Simon.
Cool, yeah, mate. Well played.
There we go. Now you've got to give it to Dad.
So many things to do at the same time. So, Emma, please. Amazing to see this for
That's all right. They just say that. You've all been doing. Nice. That's awesome. Finishing up today after a couple of weeks out on the water with Sail the Canaries. On board this week, a couple of lovely blokes doing their competent crew and another much more experienced sailor. The day skipper course expanded upon some of the fundamentals of sailing, but really built us up with knowledge around navigation and safety requirements and how to get out of troubles. I mean, from here you can just learn more and more and more, and this is really just the tip of the iceberg. With the certification, at least, it allows you to hire boats, and I think that way I'll be able to gain my own experience and make some mistakes and continue to learn. So the Canary Islands have been a really fantastic place to learn. Average of 22 to 25 degrees every day, and we've had some really good winds and great company too. I feel like I've gone from little to no knowledge of sailing to at least being able to handle a boat in different conditions. Lots of new terminology, and made a couple of good mates along the way. So the first week was the competent crew course, which was about learning the anatomy of the boat, focused on fundamentals of points of sail, tacking versus jibing, learning a few things about rope work, learning some knots, which is always a bit of fun. But we also had an opportunity to be at the helm, to learn a little bit about navigation, but really to be a competent crew member on a sailboat. The thing I loved about the first week is it's all new, and even though it can be a bit overwhelming and different sheets and different lines and what does what and releasing versus pulling in, and it's all very fast paced and it feels urgent, it's a great learning experience. So the second week, the day skipper was really getting you to the point where you could take charge of a sailing vessel. This expanded upon a lot of the fundamentals for me and really drove home the terminology and some of those skills we learnt in the first week. But learning things about moorings and berths and anchoring up and the different flags and the day signals and the night lights, there's a lot to learn. As part of building up to your day skipper qualification, you do need to do a theory course. And one of the things that you focus on is navigation. And even though modern technologies have superseded a lot of the old chart work and things that you do, it's still a requirement to know these things. And I've really enjoyed that side of things. A couple of exercises I found enjoyable but challenging was piloting our way out of a marina. And they'd set up a scenario where there was some fake rocks underneath the water. So we had to pick particular bearings on the land or in a particular location so that we could get our way out safely. So the planning and the organisation side of it, I thoroughly enjoyed. The exercise that I enjoyed most was this night sail. We had approximately 9 nautical miles to go from one of the marinas called Rubicon to another one called Puerto Calero. And we're fighting against the wind, so we're having to zigzag
against the wind. So I think next steps for me from a sailing point of view is probably to do some day sails, to crew with experienced skippers and learn a lot more in different conditions. I think as well for me over the next couple of months it's important to get out on the water and actually enjoy these skills that we've learned and to put them into practice and share them with some family and friends. I thought our boat was fantastic. I think having a really good instructor is so important, not only knowing the ropes literally, but also just the style of learning. Even though you see some great things along the way, I would suggest this is more of an intensive learning experience than it is a leisure experience.
Do you think about the things we used to do? No, you couldn't stand tall. So why didn't you call? So many years has gone by, but I think about you all the time.
G'day, thanks for watching. Leave a comment on the video and subscribe for future content. See you on the next adventure.
Something in the